Okay, in this video, I'm going to go through in a greater detail what is the use of a laminated core and what is eddy current. Okay, now before I elaborate on what is the use of the laminated core, let us go through why is there a need for this laminated core. So what I've drawn here on the left is a transformer with a big chunk of core. So this core is made up of magnetic material. Its use is to basically concentrate whatever magnetic field line produced in the primary coil to the secondary coil to improve the efficiency of the transformer. So let's say this core is not a laminated one, meaning that it's just one big chunk of iron, soft iron. Now let's say for a particular instance, the current flowing in the primary coil somehow produces a magnetic field line that goes this way. Well, so what happens is that this cord, it is a magnetic material, but at the same time it is also an electrical conductor. So when this electrical conductor, the core, experience a changing magnetic field, it will also produce an induced EMF according to Faraday's law. And we can actually determine how this induced current will flow in the core according to Lenz's law. So let's say what did I do? So let's say I look at a cross section of the core. Let's say I look at this cross section of the core. Now this cross section of the core is now experiencing an increase of magnetic flux due to the primary coil's current. Now according to your right hand grip rule, you can actually point your thumb this way. I hope you can understand my drawing. Right, and then you can see that by pointing the thumb this way, you would have a north pole in this direction. So what happens is that in this core, the current will actually flow in this manner, so that the induced current will flow in this manner, okay, so that it will produce a magnetic pole that actually oppose, okay, this light blue color one is the magnetic field line that is being produced by the light green induced current. So actually this light blue magnetic pole will actually oppose the change of magnetic flux experienced by the core. Now, when this happens, there will be two problems. Number one is that this induced current flowing through the core has very little resistance. So whatever energy that it carries, it will actually be transformed into heat. Okay, so this particular current, we call it the eddy current. Okay, and this eddy current is a nuisance because it will heat up the core and it will heat up the circuit and it will basically heat up your transformer. So that is disadvantage number one. Okay, so I just write down here disadvantage number one, the induced current, which is actually called the eddy current, okay, will actually cause heating. Okay, now disadvantage number two is that, can you see that the eddy current will flow in a way that will oppose the magnetic field line created by this primary coil? Now what happens is that, effectively speaking, the secondary coil will now experience a weaker change of magnetic flux. Because if let's say, let's give this a unit, let's say 10 units of magnetic field is being produced by the primary coil. The eddy current would produce a magnetic field line that will oppose this. So effectively, the magnetic field line produced by the primary coil is actually weakened, and as a result, your secondary coil will actually experience a weaker change of magnetic flux and hence a lower induced EMF. So disadvantage number two is that, as a result of this eddy current, the secondary coil will actually experience a weaker change of magnetic flux. Now, you do not need to go and talk about, oh, okay, the eddy current by Lenz's law will flow in such a way that it will create a magnetic field that opposes the magnetic field caused by the primary coil. Unless it is a 3 or 4 mark question whereby they are asking you what or explain how the eddy current reduces the efficiency. If they are just asking you what is the disadvantage, you can just quote these two. Okay? Can? Now, because of these two disadvantages, engineers come up with this idea of laminating the core. Now, what is the meaning of laminating the core? Basically, this red color plate is actually the magnetic material, which is also a conductor. Then, after they have this very thin ring, they will actually laminate this ring with a layer of insulator, which is this light blue color thing, and then they will put another ring of magnetic material, and then after that a layer of insulator, and then it will just keep on stacking up. So this is what we mean by lamination. We coat the magnetic core material so that it is insulated from the next ring. Now, the advantage of doing this is that effectively you can see that the cross-sectional area of the core is now reduced to this, comparing to this big one. It will be like that. Meaning that if you remember your resistivity formula, your resistance is actually inversely proportional to your area, right? Meaning that when your area drops, your internal resistance will increase. Now, if you look at the system here, the induced EMF on the core is actually caused by the primary coil, the changing magnetic flux produced by the primary coil. So by V equals to IR, your V is actually fixed. This V here is actually fixed because it actually depends, okay, on your primary coil. What do I mean by it depends on your primary coil? It depends on how frequent your AC current changes direction. It also depends on the magnitude of your AC current in the primary coil. So if those two didn't change, your induced EMF on the core is basically fixed. Now what happens is that by reducing the area, you have actually increased the internal resistance. So as a result, your eddy current must go down. Okay, and of course, because when your eddy current or your induced current go down, then by another formula, which is actually your P loss, is actually equals to I square R. When your I decrease, your P loss will also decrease. So to summarize, what is the function of a laminated core? So a laminated core reduces the cross section area, and by reducing the cross-sectional area, your internal resistance would increase, and by your V equals to IR, your I will drop because your V is fixed and your R has increased. So because of that, your P loss, which is given by I square R, would then reduce, or your P loss as heat would then reduce. Okay, Ken? So I hope this clarified what is the use of a laminated core and what eddy current is. Keep the question coming.